So I'm just going to quickly go through ZZDT, the latest development in method technology theory from the famed ZMS Discord server. So firstly, to understand what ZZDT is, you need to understand what ZZD and ZZCT are. So I'll do this scramble, I'll just use it twice to show you. So first step for both methods, ear line, ear cross, doesn't really matter because you're being suboptimal anyway. So for ZZD, get to this point, so ear cross is solved. And then you're going to solve every slot apart from front right. Okay, and then now from here, you want to insert this pair while permuting all the corners. So you're left with a 2GLL. I don't know the algs, so I'm not going to do it. ZZCT, when you get to this point, what you do is you'll insert this edge while orientating all the corners, and then you'll do what's called a TTLL. No, that's not the TS. Ah, that works. So now I've got this edge solved. Top layer's orientated. This is back there. And then I do one of 72 algs to, that's like what one of the 5 I know, but I do one of 72 algs to solve the rest. So for ZZDT, this is where it gets interesting. So I'm going to do classic ear line like that. Well, you do ear cross if you cared about speed. Then if you cared about speed, you wouldn't be using any of these. And then again, I'm going to solve all but FR. Don't fall tripod. I guess this whole thing's suboptimal anyway. And then from here, I'm going to force CP solved. So looking here, I can see if I twist these, going to be adjacent there and headlights there, nothing really there. So to get 2gen, you have to swap those. Long story, I can explain it in a second. So because I'm lazy, I'll just do a J-perm with those 2 corners. And now what I have to do is I need to use one of 16 algs to orientate all the corners. So this is this one here. So it's that. No, I didn't even permute the corners. This just shows how bad this method is. Anyway, so once I've done that, I should have got a 2gen TTLL. So opposite there, adjacent there. And then if I look at the 2 TTLL algs, so the 2gen TTL algs, this is this case because there's like a Z perm pattern there. There is one there as well. And the alk is U prime, R2, U2, R U prime, R prime U, R prime U2, R2 U, R U R prime. And solved. So it's a bad way to force 2gen TTLLs for the meme, but it's very optimal. So we need to go through all the cases though. So firstly, it's very easy to determine CP when this corner is in place, because you want all these corners solved relative to each other. So those 2 are solved, those 2 aren't. So we need to swap them and then they'll all be solved. Ignore the edges. But what happens if I take this corner out with just RU moves? What we see is we have opposite there, adjacent there. So this is actually CP solved when the corner is out. So our aim is, while inserting this edge, to permute the corners into this configuration. So now there are multiple algs you can use. There's a cheat way though, which I like. So firstly, here, put this corner at the back for recognition. So we need, well, those 2, I'll twist that because I'm cheating. those two are opposite, those two are adjacent. So corner permutation is solved, so I just need to insert this edge. If you were smart, you would do that instead to skip this pair. Let's go through this. So here we have, if I twist this here, they are adjacent and they are solved. So to get this, I need to do a diagonal swap in the top layer. So I would get, so if you think about it, that red would go there and be opposite with that orange at the back. And that green would go there and be adjacent to that orange there. And this corner would be here. So what we have to do is we have to do a Diag swap. Or you could think about swapping those two. A Diag swap on U while inserting this edge, which has an alg, which is that. And now, if I do the OCLL, well, TSLE thing, it is, which one is it? It's one of them. You know what? Let's just do this, because I'm good. And then look, opposite, adjacent. So this can be solved with a 2-gen TTLL. Let's see which one it is. So you've got opposite there, adjacent there, which turns out to be number 6 here. So the alg is R prime U2, RU2, RU R prime U2, RU R prime U prime. Done, or 2-gen. The next case is, if I do this, actually. Okay, so they're opposite. To make this right, if you swap those two, it will do it. You can figure it out later. But we need an alg that will swap, insert that and swap the front two corners, which happens to be that. And then if I do that, oh look, opposite, adjacent to them, TTLL. So you can go through, work all them out. So the algs, I'll go through the algs for CPLE, I guess that's what you call it. So no swap, just insert the edge however you want. If you've got if you want to switch, actually I'll just set it up because it's easier. If you want to switch so these are solved, these are swapped. So if you want to switch these two, R prime F prime RU, RU prime R prime F. If you want to, well, these two at the front are solved, these two at the back are swapped. If you want to swap them, F prime sexy R prime FR. If you want to swap the two on the right, it's D R prime U prime R D prime R2 U R prime U prime R2. And if you want to swap the two on the left, it's yeah, so here you want to switch those two there because they're swapped. These are solved. It's S prime RU prime R prime F wide R prime F prime R. Then you have a 2-gen. And then finally for Diag, there are two algs which are inverses of each other. And one of them, when the edge is on the right, RF, R prime U, insert the edge into there, but while you do it, cancel into that. And the other one is when the edge is in the back, you do RF, U, R prime, U prime, R, F prime, R prime. And that will also solve CP. So that's a really bad suboptimal overview of maybe the most suboptimal ZZ variant. I hope you enjoyed.